Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be a Q&A. It's been a long time since I've done a Q&A, so I asked you guys on Instagram, Twitter, and the community tab if you had any questions for me that you could go ahead and ask, and I'm just going to jump straight in because I want to get to all of the questions. So I think I'll start with the questions on the YouTube community tab first. So the first question was from Shadow World, and they asked, how old am I? I am 27 years old. What is your job outside YouTube? I work in retail. I work in a clothing / sporting goods store. What did you study in college? I did not go to college. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I didn't go to college. I still don't know what I want to do, so I'm just working. Also, what's your favorite genre in books? It is romance. Romance is my favorite. Then Angela asked, what books would you love to see get an adaptation that still hasn't? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I actually don't want any books to be adapted. There is the rare occasion that books will have a good adaptation, so I just don't want any books to become TV shows or movies. I feel like genuinely the only perfect adaptation that I immediately think of is Normal People. That is truly a perfect adaptation. It follows the book, it has amazing acting, but it also changed it for the screen. I just love that adaptation, but I feel like everything else always ends up changing. I got 2 questions like this, but Unfabulous asked, thoughts on passionflix? Are you still keeping in the loop with their movies? Are you enjoying them? I love passionflix. I love the company. I love what they stand for. I love what they're trying to do. I just wish that they tried to reach a younger demographic, somewhere from 18 to 25. I feel like their demographic is a lot of older women, which is not a problem because there is a lack of romance stories for an older generation. However, if you really want a company to become popular and mainstream and successful, you have to reach a younger audience that is on social media like BookTok and BookTube and all that. A lot of people in the community think of passionflix as a very cringy romance company, and I do think they are cringy. I love them, but they are quite cringy adaptations, and so I wish they tried to have a little bit more of a younger voice in their company, if that makes sense, just to appeal to maybe a younger generation and to try to be on social media more. They really need to push on TikTok and YouTube. They don't take advantage of social media, which is so sad. But I also think that they need to really try to adapt books that have been published within the last 5 years. They're adapting books that have been around for 10 to 15 years. And as much as I loved a lot of those books that they're adapting back in the day, they're just not current good romance books. You know what I mean? They're dated and they're not popular. A lot of people have never heard of those books because they're old. So I feel like they should try to adapt more recent books. I mean, they recently did Wait With Me by Amy Dawes, which got popular, I think, on BookTok. So that was a good choice for them. But I feel like they do need to try to be a little bit more current. And I wish that they would stop adapting the dialogue word for word from the book. That's what makes it cringy. They need to change that a little bit. And I understand they want to be an adaptation that is as close to the book, but you can change the dialogue. It's not going to be a big deal. I am still keeping up with their projects and stuff. I am probably going to make an adaptation news video soon. I might do that in the new year. And I am going to talk about the future of my passionflix videos in some of my wrap-up videos in January, because I'm gonna change up not the way that I do my passionflix videos, but I'm gonna change them a little bit. I just think it'll be more enjoyable for me in the long run. I will be watching Gabriel's Redemption very soon and hopefully making a video on that. I'm also very excited for Wallbanger. That's the current adaptation that they are filming, and I'm really excited for that one because they have a pretty stacked cast. But yeah, I'm sort of keeping up with passionflix. Books with Z asked, If there's one thing you could change about your booktube channel or any regret that you might have done differently, what would it be? I don't think I really have any regrets when it comes to my channel or my content. I think the only thing that I really struggle with is thumbnails. I don't like making thumbnails. I don't know how to make better ones. I really struggle with thumbnails, and that's like the one thing that really, really bothers me. I actually wish I would change my channel name, but I don't know what I would change it to. I just feel like Falling Over Books doesn't really suit me or my channel, so I would like to change it, but I don't know if I just want to change it to my name or something else. I'm not sure, but that's probably like the only things that I would change about my channel. Also, if there's one fictional town you would like to move / live in, which would it be? It's not necessarily like a town, but I would love to live in the Shadowhunter universe. I think that would be really fun. Rachel asked, do you feel you have to read a lot of books because of your channel? I used to. I don't feel that way anymore. When I first started my channel back in 2016, I was reading 15 to 30 books a month. I was reading a lot. And then I think around 2020, basically around the pandemic, I started reading less and less. Now I read about like 5 books a month. And that is a huge jump from, reading like basically 15 books a month to 5. So I think for a long time it was very bothersome for me. Now I've gone kind of over it. It is what it is. And, I'm not reading as much because I have a really bad attention span. I have trouble focusing. And for, I think a while, like maybe last year, I was just not excited about books. Like I felt like no good books were coming out. I wasn't excited about anything. And so that also like took a toll on my reading, but I finally feel like better about reading and just kind of falling in love with books again. So I don't feel bad about reading not a lot of books, but 5 books is still great. Like if you have a busy life and you have things going on or you're not feeling good mentally, like 5 books is still a good number. It's not bad. What book or series do you wish you read earlier? I don't think I have one because I genuinely think that for me, it's right book, right time. Like I need to read a book at the right moment. I feel like I read a lot of books at the right time for me. I think it would have ended up differently if I had read them earlier. Maybe I wouldn't have loved them. And this is the last question from the YouTube community tab. This is from 60s Baby 70s Girl. Do you find it harder to find books that you really end up loving from recommendations on social media? Hyped books. Why is it so hard to find books that we love without falling for the social media hype? I do find it harder to find books that I like because I often don't love books that are super, super popular. I think it's more difficult the longer you have been a reader. Like if you have been reading romance for 10 years, some books that are popular right now are just not going to appeal to you because you've been a romance reader for years. A lot of the popular books are quite similar and they kind of just follow the trends, which is not bad, but it does make it harder to find those quality books. I try not to pay attention too much to what is popular. Sometimes I will cave and read it, sometimes I won't. Like there are books I definitely don't plan on reading. Like for example, the Magnolia Park series. I don't plan on ever reading that series just because I know I won't like it. There are definitely book readers who I trust in their reviews and recommendations. So if they love a book, chances are I will like it too, or I'm at least willing to give it a try. But I think it also just depends on like who you're following, what kind of books you're seeing. But I do find it hard to find really good books, and that's why sometimes I will try to read backlist books. I haven't in a long time, but sometimes I would rather read a romance that came out back in like 2014 versus a romance that came out this year. Okay, now I'm going to go on to the Instagram questions. So I'm going to start here. Solus Musings asked thoughts on Passionflix as a company and will you be watching Gabriel's Redemption? Kind of already answered that. Yes, I will be watching Gabriel's Redemption. I do want to try to make the video this month, but I might push it to end of January. We'll see. Barry Minty asked any book / trilogy that you want to see as a series or movie. I kind of already answered this, but I don't want any book to be adapted. I don't like book adaptations. Very Minty also asked, are you excited to watch Through My Window 3 since I know the second wasn't that great? Yes, I think it's called Through My Window Looking at You. It's coming out, I think, February 23rd. I am excited about it, and I probably will do a video on it. Even though I didn't love the second movie, I'm still really excited about the third one. I think it's still going to be fun, and I just need to go into it not taking it too serious and just having fun, you know? Anna Rudolph asked, what's your fave Mariana Zapata book? I honestly think it's Wait For It. I would love to say it's Cruelty or The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, but I think it's Wait For It. Loved that book. I read it. I think that was my second Mariana Zapata book. And I just fell in love with Diana and her little family, and I loved that book. Nadia Khan asked, a book you read this year that you want to reread? I definitely have a couple. I would love to reread Gothic Anna and annotate it. I would love to reread Hopeless and annotate it. I would love to read Done and Dusted. I, of course, would love to reread The 7-Year Slip, but I feel like I'd have to be mentally okay to reread that because it's a heavy book. I would also maybe love to reread Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams because I really loved that book too. Those are like the ones that stand out to me the most. Nadia Khan also asked, how are you doing? I am doing pretty good. I had a rough week last week. I hurt my neck while I was sleeping, and I basically had a headache like off and on for I think 5 days. It was so incredibly painful, but I'm finally over it. That kind of also took like a mental toll on me. Having migraines day after day really messes with your mental health. So I'm finally feeling a little bit better, but yeah, it was a rough week. Golden Girls Lover asked, channel goals for 2024. I will kind of discuss this probably more at length in my 2023 reading and review and 2024 reading goals video, because I do like to talk about my channel in that video, so I will discuss more of my goals. But for my channel, I really just want to get back into doing reading vlogs. Like I want to do reading challenges, or like reading a type of book for a couple days, like, you know, reading popular YA books or reading popular book talk romances or something like that. I want to do more of those type of videos. And of course I still want to do all of my vlogs because I know a lot of you love my vlogs, and I want to keep doing passionflix videos, but I want to change them up a little bit. Don't really have any like crazy goals. I think I just want to be a little bit more consistent. Callie Sains asked your thoughts about authors being canceled and the cancel culture in general. I think there's a difference between an author being canceled versus an author that we are angry with or disappointed with. I don't feel like there's necessarily an author who has been truly canceled. Like in my eyes, when I think of an author that is canceled, I think of, I guess maybe this is extreme, but I think of their book like not selling anywhere. Like I think of them not being able to sell their book anywhere, their book possibly being on like banned lists, like official banned lists. That to me, I think is an author being canceled, and I don't think we've ever really had that. Like yes, there are books that are banned, but I feel like that's schools that are trying to ban books, so it's different. I don't feel like I really have an opinion on this because I do read from problematic authors. There are authors I continue to read from. I mean, I read the Harry Potter series for the first time this year. Do I like J.K. Rowling? Do I agree with her opinions and the things that she said? Of course not. I do not. But I wanted to read the series. It has been on my bucket list. So in a way, I'm definitely a hypocrite on that because there are some authors that I will never read from because of things that they've done or said, and I don't agree with. For some reason, those authors I don't ever want to read from, but there are authors who have done shitty things that I still read from. So I don't really have an answer to this. I don't know what my thoughts are, to be honest. I think if you can go to bed at night and be confident in the choices on who you choose to support and not support, that is up to you. I definitely used to like pay attention to other creators who would read from certain authors that I knew were problematic or whatever. But I've let that go because not everybody's perfect, and I'm not going to force you to not read a certain book or a certain series or from a certain author or whatever. It's none of my business. If people want to be upset or disappointed in me for who I choose to read from, that is totally up to you. I'm not going to be angry if you decide to unfollow me or whatever. Life is too short to get angry at people for deciding to like buy a book and read it and whatever. And also, not everybody is chronically online to know that a certain author is problematic or a certain author said this or did that. You know, I have had people in real life ask me about Colleen Hoover. If I like Colleen Hoover, what is her best book? And it's a very awkward conversation to have, to be like, well, she's not really a good person, but you can read her if you want. Like, how do you say that to just like a normal person on the street or like a friend? That is something that like they will never truly understand because they're not in the book community. They're just reading a book that is popular and that is like they've heard a lot of things about. I guess, yes, it is like maybe my job to like educate them on that, but also like I'm not going to be an annoying bitch about it and be like, oh, you shouldn't read from her because she did so and so and so. The next 3 questions were from Antonella Reads. How are you? What is something new you learned about you or the world this year? Oh my god, that is a loaded question. I don't feel like I've really learned anything new about myself this year, which is kind of sad, but I think I've just listened to my body more and just kind of have like taken breaks when I know that I've needed it. I think I've also just learned to be more kind to people and just like have more patience and to not be so harsh with like the world, if that makes sense, and to understand that like not everybody knows the same things, if that makes sense. What is something you are looking for in 2024? I'm assuming looking forward to. I mean, hopefully I'm getting another cat in 2024. I would love to get a little orange cat. That is something I would love to do, but I don't know if I can really afford that right now, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to getting back into journaling and trying to journal more, and also just trying to like refocus on books. I really just want to like have a reset of like just focusing on books and like trying to lessen my social media intake like always, but I really want to make that a goal. What is a new author you discovered this year that you like and are looking forward to reading more from? I would say Rue Nix. I think I read all of Rue Nix's books this year and I really enjoyed her books. Like, I didn't love her Dark Verse series, I think that's what it's called, but I loved Gothic Anna. So she's an author I kind of want to stick with. I really enjoyed Done and Dusted by Lila Sage, so I want to keep reading more from Lila Sage. I feel like she could become a new favorite author. Ashley Poston definitely solidified herself as a new favorite author for me. Even though I read The Dead Romantics last year, reading The 7-Year Slip this year like solidified it for me. I was like, yeah, she's a new favorite author. I will read anything she puts out in the future. I am debating between going back to her backlist, but I might just focus on her recent stuff. I do have one of her YA books. Oh, I think Geekerella. So I do plan on reading that, but I definitely love Ashley Poston. And then on Instagram, I had linked a anonymous place where you could leave questions if you didn't want to leave your name. So I'm going to answer some of those. So the first one I got was, did you watch Bridgerton or read the books and what did you think of it? I'm new, so sorry if you already talked about it. I actually made a whole video on it. I will link that video down below. I read the first book in that video and then I watched the first season and I gave all of my thoughts in that video. I have not read the rest of the series, nor have I actually watched the second season. I just wasn't obsessed with the characters or the story and I don't want to continue. I was going to read Antony's story because I did buy the book, but his season came and went and I just realized like I wasn't really that interested. So I have not continued the series and I have no plans to. But if you want to watch like my initial opinion and thoughts, I will leave that video down below. This person asked a few questions. Are you going to get more tattoos? Yes, I do plan on getting more tattoos. That could be actually a goal for me in 2024 is to get more tattoos, but I would have to research a really good tattoo artist in my city who does more like fine line tattoos. I don't love thick tattoos. I feel like if you have like a sleeve, like an entire sleeve, thick tattoos look great. I think those look best when you have an entire sleeve. But if you just want to do like kind of like a sticker book, I don't feel like thick tattoos look great with that. And a lot of the tattoos that I want to get, I feel like would look best with like thin line tattoos. So I need to do more research on like who would be best to go to in my city. I don't know if I actually have that many options, so we'll see, but I do want to get more tattoos. Which book can you reread several times without getting bored? I would say probably the Monster in His Eyes trilogy by J.M. Darhauer. I think I've read that series 3 or 4 times. I always pick up on new things every time I read it. I would also say the Addicted series, because that series is so freaking long and there's so much that happens in those books that I forget everything that happened. Same with the After series by Anna Todd. Those books are massive, so much happens, and I forget literally everything. So I never get bored rereading all of those books. Any goals for 2024? I kind of already addressed this. I just really want to be happy and just continue to make content that I really love, get back into more of my hobbies, and just enjoy life, I guess. That's really it. Did you ever want to do a vlog about something specific but ended up not doing it? Yes. There has been, I think, 2 videos that I tried doing and I couldn't do them. The first one was me reading popular book talk romances, and I was going to do this for Book Lovers and 2 other books, and I started Book Lovers and I didn't really like it, and I was like, this video is not going to turn out great. So I ended up scrapping that video. I do eventually want to do a reading popular book talk romances. I have other plans for that video now, but I did want to do that, and I tried to film that twice and I did not like the outcome. And then I also wanted to film a music reaction video. I wanted to react to Lana Del Rey's Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard album, but I couldn't wait to film it. Like, I just wanted to listen to her album so bad, and I didn't have time to film it when I listened to it, so I wanted to do a video on that. And I didn't really know how to do it. I feel like music is so hard for copyright on YouTube, so I feel like that would have just been a whole messy video, but I would have loved to do that. Maybe I'll do it for her next album. I don't know. Okay, the next person asked, do you have some days off for Christmas? And if yes, any plans on what you will do, like go see your parents or staying cozy at home or something else? I have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off, and I think I'm going home for Christmas Eve, and I'm just going to spend the day there because I was going to bring Blue with me, but my parents do have 3 other cats, and my mom thinks it's not going to be a good idea. So I think I'm just going to go back home to the farm for a couple of hours. I think we'll just open up gifts, have a meal, and then I'll come back here and spend Christmas Eve night at my house with my cats. And then Christmas Day, I think I'm going to my aunt and uncle's house, I think for like supper. So I'll probably spend a couple hours with them. And then I work Boxing Day, so I think I will have a long day on Boxing Day, but that's kind of it. I don't have a lot of plans for Christmas. This question, I brought everything with me because I really want to go thorough with this question. You are a natural blonde, right? Wondering how you are able to keep your hair in such good condition, since I suppose you dye your hair super often. I mean, your hair is so beautiful and not damaged. How do you do it? First of all, thank you. I am a natural blonde. It's like a dirty blonde. I will actually link my last video that I had like my natural hair color with, because I think for most of my booktube journey I had my natural hair color. I might have had like some blonde highlights or ombre balayage type. I've only been dyeing my hair red for 2 years, I think. I think I dyed it in 2021. My hair is pretty healthy. I do try to take care of it. I try not to wash it that often. I wash it maybe every 2 days. I do have like a very oily scalp, so I try not to wash it a lot, but I also do need to wash it. I don't have the box dye with me, but I dye my hair myself. I have a picture of what exactly I use. I think the color is like reddish brown, and I dye my hair about 4 times a year. I dye it around my birthday in March. I dye it probably early summer. Then I dye it like early fall, and then I dye it before Christmas. I usually dye it before like seasons, essentially. And I just try not to wash my hair that often. I try not to use heat on my hair. I occasionally try to wash my hair with cold water, especially once I have freshly dyed it. As for my hair care routine, I am going to show you the products that I do use. I don't use a lot of products, which I feel like helps my hair a lot. I feel like sometimes if you use a lot of products, it can overwhelm your hair, and I just kind of like to use the basics. So for shampoo and conditioner, I use the Briogeo Superfoods Mango and Cherry Balancing Shampoo and Conditioner. I use these on my hair all the time. I love Briogeo. I think they are a fantastic company. And then occasionally I will use the Briogeo Scalp Revival Charcoal and Coconut Oil Micro Exfoliating Shampoo. This I maybe use twice a month. This is just a little bit more of an intense shampoo. It is basically like a charcoal shampoo. So if you do have like an oily scalp or a lot of scalp buildup, like of dry shampoo or product, this is really great for removing all of that. The dry shampoo that I use is also Briogeo. This is the Scalp Revival Charcoal and Biotin Dry Shampoo. It does have a white cast, but I always apply my dry shampoo at night before I go to bed. So when I wake up in the morning, it isn't like super white. And I love it. I do feel like it makes my hair grow. I do use an oil treatment. So I use the Moroccan oil treatment. This is also from Sephora. This I use on my hair after I wash it. I just use it on my ends. And if I go several days without washing my hair, I will also put this on my dry hair. I will kind of like dampen my ends a little bit and then put this on because I feel like it works best on wet hair. But if I haven't washed my hair in a couple days and my ends are starting to look a little dry, or I just need like a little bit of a life back into my hair, I will apply this on my dry hair as well. This stuff I love. I feel like it's the only oil that actually works for my hair. And I do get really, really, really staticky hair in the winter. This helps. I do have another product that I occasionally use, but I haven't repurchased it. So I just kind of stick to this. And then I do use a heat protectant for my hair. So anytime I'm curling my hair, straightening, I don't necessarily use this when I blow dry my hair because I don't really blow dry my hair that often, but this is the Chi 44 Iron Guard Thermal Protection Spray. This I got from Shoppers. This is the heat protectant that I use and I really like it. I feel like it really protects my hair, and I just try to take care of my hair as best as I can, and these are the main products that I use. I will occasionally try something new, but this is kind of what I stick to. So those are all the questions that I got. Thank you so much to everybody who asked me questions. I really, really appreciate it. And if you have any other questions for me, please leave them down below and I will reply to your questions. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.